This is your Monex Metals Market Update with Mike Maroney.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Maroney and I am coming to you today from the Monex Precious Metals studio. Let's do our Precious Metals Week in Preview. Now, typically, in order to look ahead, we typically have to look back and discuss a little bit about where we were to try to figure out where we're headed. Let's talk about the market in general. We've had an interesting market over the last 5 to 6 years, and we've broken through some key resistance levels in many of the world's investments. If you look at the Dow Jones, I was a stockbroker all the way back in the early 80s, and we used to talk about 1,000 Dow. Believe it or not, the Dow Jones has broken above 25,000 for the first time in history. There was another number that was bantered about back right before the tech wreck in 2000, and that was 5,000 NASDAQ. Whereas the NASDAQ today, it's above 7,000. So what we have is we have extraordinarily high valuations in the stock markets. What's happening in the bond markets? Well, interest rates went to all-time historic lows, and inevitably here in the United States, we didn't use a negative interest rate policy, which is known as NIRP, which actually means that the banks would have charged you to put money in the banks. But we have extraordinarily low interest rates, and we're starting to see interest rates go up. When interest rates go up, the price of bonds go down. It has an inverse correlation. So we have stock market at extraordinarily high levels. We have bonds at historically high levels with interest rates at all-time lows. And we also have real estate. In the real estate market, it's very interesting because people typically don't buy price, they buy payment. And what do I mean by that? Normally, you don't look and say, oh, I'm going to buy a house at 1.8 million. You usually say, well, I'm going to buy a house that I can have a mortgage payment of $3,000 or maybe $3,100. But what happens as interest rates go up, the payment goes higher, and typically what happens is the price goes lower. So we have a market where it looks like interest rates are starting to go higher. There's rumor that inflation is actually starting to work its way into the market. And a lot of that has been predicated on the fact that Japan, Europe, and the United States has printed a massive amount of money to offset the financial crisis that took place back in 2008. And we have a stock market that many people compare to 1929, 2000, and 2008. Those were the last three major tops that we saw crashes right after in the stocks. So the key for 2018 might be safety. Where is safety in today's market? Can you buy real estate at all-time highs and hope that people will pay a higher price? Of course you can. And maybe you'll want to buy it and lease it out and make income. Could be a great play, but as interest rates go higher, might be a little bit risky. Can you buy stocks with the Dow above 25,000, NASDAQ above 7,000? I'm sure there's some tremendous deals out there on individual companies, and that will always be the case. But as far as the indexes are concerned, based on the historic norms, we're looking at a market that many people believe that the greater fool theory exists. And that theory is if you buy it when it's extremely overvalued, inevitably you have to find a greater fool to buy it from you if you're going to make money. Now, where is the undervalued sector in today's marketplace? Well, a lot of people think precious metals might be that place. If you look at what's happening in the cryptocurrencies, what's going on there is proof that the world is starting to become frustrated with the way that the world's governments are actually taking care of their business and wondering if the value of their currencies will continue to maintain structure or could potentially fall into the proverbial abyss. So they're buying cryptocurrencies to get out from under the fact that the world's governments continue to print money. Interestingly enough, in the past, it used to be precious metals. And over the last few weeks, we've seen precious metals fall on the expectation that we would see a rate hike. We saw the rate hike in December, and since that point, we've seen gold rally almost $100, and we've seen silver rally from $15.58 all the way up to $17.30. And I believe maybe we're going to have a little bit of a pullback, but right now it looks like precious metals may be one of those places that in 2018 it makes sense to park a little bit of your capital. What we have here is we have people that can talk to you about how precious metals can fit into your portfolio. Give us a call today at Monex so we can discuss how gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, whether delivered and in your hands or stored and put in a depository, could add a little bit of safety to your portfolio. It might be one of the best times in history to own precious metals. Give us a call today so you can find out for yourself. Thank you.